I want to make a distinction today that changed the way I understand my own life, and I think if you let it in, it might do the same for you. The distinction is between pain and suffering. Most people use these words as if they mean the same thing, but they don't. And the moment you understand the difference, not just as an idea, but as something you actually feel, something may shift. Not immediately or dramatically, but something that has been tight for a long time can begin very slowly to loosen. Let me start with pain. Pain is inevitable. I want to say that clearly, not as a warning, but as a kind of permission. If you love someone, you will one day lose them. If you try something, you will sometimes fail. If you open yourself to life, really open yourself without armor, you will be hurt. This is not a design flaw, this is the design. Pain is information. It tells you what matters to you. It tells you where you are vulnerable. It signals that something real is happening, that you're not numb, not closed, not moving through life behind glass. We are meant to feel everything, joy and grief, love and loss, the full range of what it means to be alive. A life without pain would not be a better life, it would be a smaller one. One where nothing was real enough to hurt you because nothing was real enough to matter. Pain is not the opposite of a good life, it is part of one. Suffering, on the other hand, is something else entirely. Suffering is what happens when pain is not understood, not accepted, not moved through. It is pain that gets stuck. I like to think it like a river. When the river flows freely, water moves through. It comes, it passes, it goes. Suffering is what happens when something blocks the river. The water doesn't disappear, it backs up, it sits still. It becomes heavy and stagnant in a way that flowing water never does. That blockage, the thing that stops pain from moving, is almost always the same thing. It is the absence of understanding. Nobody taught us that pain is not an emergency. Nobody taught us that negative emotions are not weaknesses to be hidden or problems to be solved immediately. Nobody taught us that pain, when it is met with acceptance, when it is allowed to be exactly what it is, it moves through. And so instead we resist it, we distract ourselves from it. We build stories around it. This is just who I am. This will never change. Or I don't deserve anything different. And the pain that was meant to pass through becomes suffering, which stays, and it can grow. It becomes the lens through which we see everything. Now I want to be honest with you about something. Understanding this distinction does not automatically fix anything. Sometimes you can see the river clearly, you can see exactly what's blocking it, and you still cannot move the blockage alone. That is not failure. That is the reality of how deep some pain goes. When that happens, when awareness alone isn't enough, the answer is not to push harder by yourself. The answer is to expand, to reach outward, to find a voice, an idea, a perspective that can reach where you cannot reach yourself. I did this in my own life, not through formal therapy, although there's nothing wrong with that, but by expanding my mind, by seeking out thinkers, voices, conversations that could offer something I didn't yet have. Asking for help with suffering is no different from asking for help with anything else you don't know how to do or what to do about it. It is not a weakness, it is actually intelligence, it is personal responsibility in action. But here is the thing I've come to understand after years of sitting with this in myself and in the people I've walked alongside. All the awareness in the world, all the right questions, all the wisdom, the guidance, the right voices, none of it lands without one thing, which is willingness. The decision, whether it is a conscious one or buried somewhere deep, You need to have the willingness to want to understand, to want to move forward, willingness to want things to be different. The person who truly wants to get better will get better, not immediately, not without difficulty, but the wanting itself is the river starting to flow again. And if you're not ready, if the willingness isn't there yet, that is okay too. Sometimes sitting inside that suffering for longer than seems necessary is exactly what that particular journey requires. Time is an ally. Not everyone moves at the same pace, and no timeline is wrong. Your journey is your own. So I want to leave you with this. Pain will come, it always does. And when it does, don't run from it. Don't manage it. Don't perform strength around it. Just let it be there. Feel where it lives. Ask what it's trying to tell you. And if it passes through, let it go. And if it doesn't, if it loops, if it sits, if it becomes heavy, ask yourself honestly, is this still pain? Or has it become something I'm choosing to hold on to? Do that not as a judgment, but as a question. A gentle, honest question that only you can answer. Because pain that is felt and accepted passes through. Pain that is resisted becomes the house you live in, and you were never meant to live in there. Feel it, learn from it, let it move, and keep traveling.